This is a CC Radio podcast.
On this week's show, we're joined by a very special guest to talk about a very special show. It's Season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Welcome to Comic Confidential, the weekly show where we discuss our favorite things from popular culture. My name is Cade.
And my name is Troy. And as I said, I believe it was me at the top of the show, we are talking about Game of Thrones Season 8 this week. And to do that, we're reaching out to a friend who knows Game of Thrones like none other, I'm going to say.
More than me.
More than
and
Cade.
That's the important
It's
part.
1,000% more than Cade, which isn't hard. It is Rachel. Hello, Rachel.
Hello.
What's happening?
Oh, just chilling like a villain.
Chilling like a villain? Is there a lot of villains in Game of Thrones? Because I don't know.
Every second person.
Yeah, quite.
So it's 50%.
Oh, 50%.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, but there's a lot of villains.
Okay.
And some terrific ones. Maybe not so when it comes to Season 8, but hey, here's the thing, though, with this particular, I don't necessarily, because there's been a lot of slamming of Season 8. All right, we already know that it wasn't exactly what everybody hoped for and stuff like that. This isn't going to be one of those ones where we just review it and we slam the shit out of it. We're going to talk about which character had the best season and which character had the worst. All right. Now there's going to be those two categories. I'm going to have some options for you, and then I'm looking at Rachel because you don't even know what I'm talking about.
So,
You're going to pick somebody purely by name.
Yeah.
But I want you to pick a person every time.
Okay.
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 So we're going to do that.
Can I guess what they did for the season?
No.
I'm going
because
to.
I'm going to tell you.
Oh.
That's how it works. However, prior to us doing that, I do want to go around and just get some overall thoughts for Season 8. I'll start with Cade. Okay, what do you think of Game of Thrones Season 8?
Look, guys, I think Season 8 was the epitome of Game of Thrones. For dragon shows set in medieval times, and, seasons where there's other episodes in it. This one probably had the least amount of episodes, but had the least amount of value.
Yeah.
Some episodes were better than others. Some were crappier than others.
Yep.
But, overall, it was a TV show.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm getting big politician vibes from you. You'd be fantastic at it.
Now, before we move on to Rachel, I do have to, I shouldn't have to, but Jesus Christ, there's going to be some Game of Thrones Season 8 spoilers, all right? So if you have not seen the season or even the season finale, if you haven't quite got there yet, do not listen to this episode. You're going to have to skip this entire week until you've done it. Rachel, what do you think of Season 8 of Game of Thrones?
You know what? I don't think that it deserves all of the hate that it gets.
An
So
optimist.
you don't think the dragon show sucked?
I don't think the dragon show sucked.
Okay. Tell me why. What was good about it?
I think that it wrapped things up the best that it could with the material that it had.
Yeah, okay.
If the material, the material wasn't fantastic, but I think they did their best, Troy. I think they did their best.
At least you tried.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So with this season, it had the opportunity to have more episodes, didn't it? Because this is a rumor floating around.
Yeah. So look, how basically the creators and the guys who have been show running have been given the opportunity to work Star Wars, right? So effectively, they kind of had to, instead of passing it off to somebody else, they basically said, nah, we're going to do it. We're going to finish it. We just need to wrap it up quick because we got to go get this Star Wars money.
Ah, right. So
Yeah.
what they've done, they've handed in their resignation. They've got 2 weeks
Yeah.
left at work.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
All right, I've got this one project. I'm just going to cram it out as best I can.
Yep.
But I can say I did it.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to burn any bridges, but also, at the same time, I don't want to put too much effort into it because I've got a sick 2-week holiday before I go to my next job.
Yeah, and I get a bonus if I complete this.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So it's kind of, so effectively, I think there was a push for more episodes, and they pushed back and said, no, we're going to do it in this. And that's over the last 2 seasons. So are they the only thoughts you have? Is there anything else you want to say before we get right into it?
No, I think that's all I need to say about it.
Okay. That's fair. A woman of few words. I like it.
just like episodes for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No.
How many was it? 6?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 6. Yeah, it was 6.
6 this
Yeah.
one.
Wow, that's a short
7
season.
the last one.
That's like a British TV show season.
Yeah, but at least the British TV show would wrap up properly.
Well, at least for the British TV show, every episode would be an hour and a half, and
And-
it would also be quality.
Yeah, and at least with the British TV show, there'll be crumpets.
And tea at some point.
Yeah. Was there crumpets or tea at all in Game of Thrones?
No, there was a Starbucks cup at one point, but
Really?
And some water bottles.
and some water bottles. I missed that.
Wow.
Look, I will say this about season 8. I don't think it was. Look, there was some really good stuff mixed in with a lot of crap. I think it was obviously it was heavily rushed. Some of the characters wrapped up okay. Some of the character arcs were absolutely shithouse terrible, and we will probably get into some of that at some point over the course of this week. But I don't think it was like I think the last episode it did wrap it up as best as it could.
Yeah.
I think it could have easily gone for another 2 or 3 seasons. I think we could have pushed it out. There's so much more story to tell, and it's disappointing that it didn't. But I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm left
You sound,
knowing that.
you know what you sound like?
What?
You sound like you've just been given a present at Christmas and you thought it was something else. And when you've opened it, it was something very lackluster and you have to pretend you like it.
Well, that's a
in front of
perfect analogy
everyone.
because we waited 2 years for this final season.
Mm.
So, you know, instead of maybe making us wait 2 years, perhaps they could have used that extra year to make more episodes. I don't know. Call me crazy. But yeah, I think it was a little bit rushed, but I think overall it was pretty good. It was enjoyable.
I
Look,
hear zero.
fine.
Emilia
zero-
Clarke was in it, and that's all I really care about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But we're not here to talk about how bad it was, all right? So what I want to do is I want to talk about which character had the best season. And we're going to do that first, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some options for characters. I'm going to tell you why I believe they had the best season. And then you can either pick one of those if you agree with it, or you can pick one of your own. Kate, you probably can't do that because you don't know anyone in the show. I don't even know why you're here.
Look,
But we're just at your
gonna-
house.
I'm going.
Kate is our wild card.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to throw out the, just the unknown.
Okay.
The unknown thing that might have happened in the Dragon show.
Okay, that sounds fantastic. All right, so the first option I'm going to give you is I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to give you the obvious one. Bran the Broken. Now, he basically did literally fuck all in season 8, other than sit and occasionally fly around as a crow, and he still managed to become king of the 6 kingdoms. I say 6 because obviously Winterfell went its own separate way. It's its own
That's
kingdom
right.
now. So there's one, Bran, okay? Number 2, Sir Bronn of the Blackwater didn't participate in a single battle, betrayed absolutely everyone, and still somehow managed to get Highgarden and made Master of Coin.
Yeah.
So he's a pretty good candidate. You know what I mean? Number 3, Sansa Stark. Okay. Sansa, as some might
Sansa.
call her. She basically sat in the crypts during the Battle of Winterfell, didn't participate at all in the battle for King's Landing, had literally nobody contesting the seat at Winterfell, and her brother became king of the other 6 kingdoms, making her family the most powerful ever.
Yeah.
That's a fairly good claim.
She came out on top pretty much.
She did. Second to last, Cersei Lannister. She got paid. I know she died. Spoilers. She died in the end. She got paid mad money to just stare out of a window and do fuck all for the entire
and drink
season.
wine. She just
Yeah.
drank wine.
She did all her shooting in one day.
She
In 1
probably
hour.
did.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee. Like, she rocked up. They're like, what am I doing today? She's like, go get that cup of wine and go stand at that window. Sweet. There's $1 million check.
Mhm.
Now, we come back in the next one. I want you to stand at the top of this building and just say some words while this big dude cuts his chick's head off. Done. Hey, stand under this ton of bricks. Done. That was Cersei Lannister. She got paid a shit ton of money. She probably got paid $6 million, roughly,
Yeah,
for
roughly.
that season.
What? Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's like $1 million per episode.
Yeah, the main actors get about $1 million per
That's
episode.
ridiculous.
The last one, before we get too ridiculous,
Oh,
I'm going
okay.
to say the last one. Which character had the best season? Let's go Robin Arryn because of that goddamn breast milk glow up.
God damn, Robin Aaron, where'd you come from, mate?
Because that was the just to give you some sort of like idea of what we're talking about. Robin Aaron was the ugliest kid you've ever seen, and then he disappears for like 2 seasons or something, and then he comes back as the most handsome motherfucker you've ever seen.
He got straight up Prince Charming hair going on.
So he got long bottomed.
Well,
He long-bottomed
hard. He bottomed out hard. And so, yeah, this character was, he was still sucking on a titty when he was like 8
Yeah.
in the show. I say character.
okay.
I don't know
And
about the real guy.
Well,
Maybe. All right. So there are your choices. You've got Bran the Broken, Sobrana the Blackwater, Sansa Stark, Cersei Lannister, or Robin Aaron. What's your pick, Cade? You pick one of them or you pick someone else?
Oh, look, I'm gonna go with the blue Darth Maul guy.
Blue Darth Maul. He wasn't in there, but yeah.
Well,
The Night King.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
my MVP.
Okay.
Because I saw memes of him walking through fire, and he's just like, "Can't burn me, bitches."
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's actually one of my nominations for worst season, but we'll get to that. But you
Oh.
think he had the best season because he walked through Dragonfire?
Yeah, well, I mean, can you?
No.
Well,
Well, I never tried.
well,
And you know what? I'll
So-
give this to Kate. He smiled when he did it too.
yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
He that looks like pretty smug, and I'm down with that. He's like I presume he's the guy that like made Winter come,
Hey.
because like,
Wasn't
hey,
Right?
wasn't just winter that
I
came
mean,
that day.
how hard is it to get off a whole season? Am I right? So
Exactly.
if he can do that and walk through Dragonfire and just look smug, he's like, I just wanked off Winter and survived Dragonfire.
All right. So moving on to someone who
But I
may
feel like my one is 100% accurate and
Spot
right.
on.
okay,
Spot on.
that's fair. You look, this is effectively somewhat on the internet, so you're allowed to have an opinion, no matter how wrong and terrible it is. Rachel, do you pick one of those characters or do you pick someone else?
No, I do. I pick one of those characters, and as tempting as it is to go for Cersei because of the wine, and I'm a big fan of wine, I feel like that's more a win for Lena Headey than it is for Cersei herself.
that's true. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Bran the Broken
Right.
because he literally did nothing. Everybody was fighting around him at the Battle of
Say
Winterfell.
farting?
Yeah,
Farting around.
everyone's going to fart around him.
Yeah.
Everybody's in these huge
That's why they call him
battles.
Bran the Broken.
He's just sitting under a tree, literally in the middle of the battle, just checks out. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go now. And he just leaves. He's out of there.
Yeah.
Like
how's he leave?
Because he rolls his eyes in the back of his head and
We're not
he
here
goes
to
into
explain.
a bunch of ravens and crows and then he's above the... We don't know where he went,
Look,
but he was not there.
it's a thing called warging, Cade, where he has the power to effectively place himself into an animal and then be that animal
Yeah.
Forever?
until he comes back.
Until he comes back, until he rolls his eyes back forward.
He can also until he rolls his eyes back forward.
Is there a world record for the longest?
Warg?
Yeah.
Yeah. It currently sits at 72 hours, 33 minutes, and 15 seconds.
That's right.
Yeah. That's your pick?
Yeah, that's my pick. Bran
Okay.
had the best season because he did nothing and ended up king. So
That's pretty good. And that's I feel like that's the obvious choice
Yeah.
because he really did. He sat around and did nothing to the point where he's like, he was flat out asked, "Hey, do you want to be Lord of Winterfell?" And he said, "No,
no.
I don't really want for anything anymore." And then he's like, "Hey, you want to be king?" He's like, "Fuck yeah, dude. Why you asked me that in the first place?"
He literally says, "Why do you think I came all this way?"
Yeah.
He knew the whole time.
He had intentions for that
Yeah.
throne.
It's like, I ain't here to be a goddamn lord. I'm here to be a king, a motherfucking king.
Yeah.
Where's my crown? What I was disappointed in, this isn't actually my pick, but what I was disappointed in is that we never got to see his throne. Or is his chair
No,
his
his
throne?
chair is his throne. He's in
That's-
a wheelchair, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, is it
Just
is it-
filling you in.
Is it sweet with all the swords and stuff?
No, it's just a regular.
It's
I mean,
just-
it's a pretty cool wheelchair for them times.
Them times. When
Whatever
is this
them
set?
times.
Is there a definitive date?
Yeah, it's 1973.
Oh wow, okay.
Uh-huh.
Like right after Woodstock.
No, look, it's
shit got real.
That's why Bran is the way he is. That's why he's so blank and
just
spaced
high.
out all the time. I want what he's having.
No, it's look, it's just like whatever medieval times were.
Shit.
Then.
Yeah.
Probably before then even.
Mm.
Anyway, my pick is actually I'm gonna pick Sir Bronn of the Blackwater. Because here's a guy who literally has betrayed every single person he has ever been near, right? He's still a cool character. You still kind of like, you root for him because you know how cool he is and he's still like a good fighter and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, he's just like this dude that's just like playing everybody against themselves. And he ended up as one of the most powerful people in the Six Kingdoms. Realistically.
So you like him because he's a terrible person and comes out on top.
Oh, no. I don't necessarily like him like that sort of thing. Like I wouldn't want to date him.
He likes him platonically.
Yeah.
It's like, I wouldn't go out for coffee. I'll go out for coffee.
Go out for coffee.
Like, just as a friend.
No, but what I mean is you've got to admire the way he played the game.
Sure.
Because he didn't participate in the Battle of Winterfell.
No.
He didn't participate in the Battle of King's Landing.
No.
Effectively, he turned on the Queen.
Yeah.
He betrayed the Queen.
Mm.
He betrayed Jaime Lannister.
Mm-hmm.
He betrayed Tyrion Lannister. He betrayed every single person he possibly could, and he still got a seat at the high table at the end.
Yeah, he still got his debt paid to him, even though he betrayed everyone.
Absolutely. So he still ended up. Highgarden is massive.
It's a huge castle.
That's a huge kingdom.
And he gets to own that.
That's his now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he's got that now. He's the master of coin.
So is he Lord of the Reach?
He's Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Wow.
So you know what, like he sounds like? He's your typical like middle level manager.
No, he's upper level.
No, well now he's upper level because like those middle level managers, they'll do anything they
cutthroat.
get.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cutthroat.
They're just above team member.
Yeah.
So they got like a little bit of power and they want more.
Well, now guess what?
He's got all
That middle level
He's got his
manager
own brand.
is now the CFO
Yeah, he's got his own store.
of this business. All right, so we went Night King. You went Bran.
Mhm.
I went Bronn. Let's move into which.
Sounds like we're talking about cereals.
Yeah, it is.
Brain.
Bran,
Yeah.
Bronn. Bronn's like Bran, except
The home brand.
yeah, it's like
It's the one you get it from Aldi.
yeah,
Bron.
it's the one that you pick up from what's that dollar store? Is that what it's called? The dollar store?
I know.
Okay.
There's-
Anyway, you know
The
what I mean.
dollar sign.
Everyone has
and
their
it's
own dollar
Bron of the
store.
Blackwater. So you put it in your cereal, you put it in the milk, it turns it black.
Turns it black, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what everybody wants for their cereal, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, it's like that Milo cereal.
Oh yeah.
You know, it turns it
Hey,
into a chocolate
hey.
Hey,
Hey.
no free
Hey.
plugs.
No free plugs. A, no free plugs. B, don't you dare disrespect Milo cereal. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
If you want a high level irons breakfast, have Milo cereal.
Yeah. It's also high in fiber and it tastes like Milo. So
It's
what are you
delicious.
going to do?
What's better, Milo cereal or Cocoa Pops?
Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa
Shut up. Get
Pops.
out of here.
Oh wow, you're just defending like Milo cereal.
Yeah, Milo cereal would become a close second to Cocoa Pops.
What if you up the game?
What's that?
Mix them.
No. You make Milo milk with your Milo cereal.
You do.
No. Separately, Troy.
I don't know what's happening
What if
anymore.
you put Milo milk in your Cocoa Pops?
Hey, guys,
That's too ridiculous.
this isn't the Milo episode,
Sorry.
all
It
right?
should be.
This is Game of Thrones.
It's Game of Milo.
Game of Milo. Game of cereals. All right. Which character had the worst season? All right. I'm going to give you some options and we're going to go from there. I'm going to start with Tormund Giantsbane. All right.
Yeah?
So Tormund Giantsbane found the love of his life.
Oh,
Right.
the big woman.
He pines over her for several seasons, right? And in season 8, she eventually ends up ignoring him completely and banging a one-handed dude that fucks his sister.
She didn't bang like the hand,
He
did she?
got over it
I
pretty
don't know.
quickly, though.
Did he? He kind of like he only because he's like, well, I may as well just go north and fuck a giant then.
Is this
Yeah.
the
Maybe
event-
he left the party with some northern woman.
What else is he going to do though? He can't sit there and you got to get over it.
Is this the invention of friend zoning?
Yeah, pretty much. This is where it all happened.
I don't talk about friend zoning without mentioning Jorah.
All right, so the next option for you guys is the Night King. So this is where he comes in for me, having the worst season. So this guy raised a massive army. He killed a dragon,
Mm.
right? He destroyed the wall.
Mm-hmm.
He's an expert in javelin,
Yes.
so he's athletic. He could withstand dragon fire and all that, and he ends up getting shanked by a girl in one night.
I is a warrior.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've all been to prison, right?
Yes,
And shanking can happen at any time.
it can.
So the shankee is not the one at fault.
The Shanker. It's the Shanker.
Yeah. So who you really should be hating is the Shanker.
Well, no one's hating.
Well,
This
no
is
one's
the thing.
hating the Shanker because he was trying to destroy the entire world.
No, that's the Shanky.
The
The
Shanker.
Shanky.
No, I'm saying the Shanky was trying to destroy the entire world, so you can't be mad at the Shanker.
No, but my point is more that, you know, this is a guy that for like as many seasons as we've seen him was effectively supposed to be the biggest bad dude. He literally single-handedly raised an army. He had giants in there.
Was he feeding them?
He was
He
feeding
had the
them.
bears.
He had the bears. He had a
Mm.
dragon. He had a goddamn zombie dragon, and he destroyed the wall, which has stood for how long?
Thousands
Heaps of
years.
times.
A long
time.
like at least 4 weeks.
17 days it stood.
Mm.
And all in all, he gets into his first big battle, and it's just like, nah, you stabbed. It's like, shank, you're out.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right? That's your...
That makes me sad.
Yeah. See? That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. That's the
Yeah.
worst season. Your next option is Tyrion Lannister. All right?
Yeah.
So Tyrion Lannister watches the queen he loves turn evil. He loses his brother and his pregnant sister. He's a war hero who is told he's not allowed to fight and has to hang out in the crypts with the women and kids. He never has enough wine, and he gets jailed for treason and ends up having to work at a job he hates.
So for the getting jailed for treason,
Yeah.
did he go over to the Bloods? Because he
He
was hanging out with the Crips.
was hanging out in the crypts.
Yeah, in the Crips group.
In the crypts crib.
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
sold the queen out, basically.
Yeah. He sold the queen. He sold her.
He sold her.
Sold her on eBay.
That's illegal.
Yeah, you
Like,
can't
I
do
can
that.
see why he got taken.
No, look. So effectively, he, he had what was effective. Like he was doing so well,
Mm.
and then come season 8, boy, did it just rain shit down on that little man.
Yeah.
So there's an option for you. I've got 2 more. Daenerys. This is a pretty
Oh,
obvious one
Daenerys.
because she gets stabbed. Right, so that's pretty bad. But
She goes insane and she gets stabbed.
yeah, well, I was trying not to use people that died because I mean, then it's kind of obvious that they had a pretty bad season because they ended up dead. But Daenerys left the lands where she was like the most beloved person on the planet to go to a place where people love her boyfriend more, right? To help him fight a war that she had nothing to do with. She realizes said boyfriend actually has a better claim to the throne that she's wanted more than anything. She loses 2 of her dragon kids. She loses her most loyal advisor, loses her best friend, gets betrayed by her hand, suffers through one of the quickest character turns ever and loses her mind, and finally gets to see the throne that she's longed for and doesn't even get to touch it before getting unceremoniously stabbed in the heart by that boyfriend,
Who's also her nephew.
who is also her nephew, which is a massive part. And she was just thinking they were having a nice kiss.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, he's coming around. And he's like, he's coming around with a knife, and
Wow.
now I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Look,
what I mean?
that's savage. The worst part about that is like, imagine being a couple and being the one that no one likes in that couple
Yeah.
Yeah.
and going to like social outings and like going to Game of Thrones barbecues with your dragons.
There's
like,
literally an episode about that.
what?
They're
Yeah.
at a party and she's just sitting and everyone's like, yay, John. And she's sitting there like,
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I understand that they planted the seeds for her to become bad. But to try to do like 7 seasons, she was amazing. Everyone loved her. She did some shit that you
she
would
did some
probably
shit,
question.
but you were rooting for her
Yeah.
when she did it.
thousand
You're like, yeah,
percent rooting for
Burn
Daenerys.
those people.
And then come season 8, they in less than 6 episodes, it was really 4 episodes. They turned her from one of the most beloved characters to someone we're apparently supposed to hate. But how are you supposed to do that? The last one I have for you guys is Jonathan Snow. So John found love with a queen that literally every dude in Game of Thrones land wanted to bang. He finds out he's not a bastard and his life has meaning. He realizes that going to put that is going to put a massive wedge between him and the woman he loves. He has to kill said woman because she becomes batshit crazy, and in doing so gets charged with treason by a eunuch. Even though the dragon gave him a perfectly good alibi, by the way, because it picked up the dead body and flew away. You know, it's like, where's Daenerys? I don't know. She just hopped on her dragon and left. Oh, no, I stabbed her. Like, you don't actually have to tell anybody.
Damn Jon Snow and his nobility. you
Yeah.
know?
And after all that, right, he's technically the rightful heir to the throne, and it goes to his crippled brother, and he gets shafted full circle back to the wall, even though he literally saved the entire world.
Wait. So his brother is now the king.
Yeah.
And he still got banished.
Like,
Yeah.
cousin.
What?
cousins.
Technically cousins, but brother technically.
Yeah.
For 7 seasons, they were brothers until we found out what his
okay.
actual lineage was.
Yeah, right.
And then they were kind of cousins. But it doesn't matter because they're brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's, he's
That's
found
a dog move, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of like you were just named king.
Mm.
You could turn around and say, I don't actually give a shit what you say,
pardon him.
Grey Worm. I'm going to pardon this dude.
Yeah.
And, you and your 30, between 30 and 30,000 unsullied, depending on what camera shot they're using, you're going to have to fight us.
Oh my God,
for
is
my
that
brother.
they just buggered off anyway to Narth? So
Yeah.
why didn't they just turn around and say,
You know what? Actually, we
"You know
don't give a
what?
shit.
We don't give a shit. You can come back whenever you want,
You
John."
people have got your goddamn problems that we don't want to be a part of. We're going to Narth. You guys can sort your own shit out. Fucking do whatever you want with Jon Snow. We don't care because we're going to be half the world away.
Mhm.
But no, they still banished him to the wall. And we know that, eventually he just goes north of the wall anyway, and he's probably going to become king of the wild people. And he'll have a really good time. And he gets reunited with Tormund Giantsbane and his dog, Ghost.
Dog.
It's not a dog, it's a wolf.
The best doggo that ever was.
The best dog
Wow.
that ever was.
Be careful. My dog is in the house and he will not appreciate
He will hear that and he will go, hey, this bitch.
Yeah, he'll bite you on the way
Yeah.
out.
I know I'm going to get attacked on
I
the
know
way
what you
out.
said about Ghost.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're your options.
Yeah.
What are you picking?
I picked Ghost.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What happened to Ghost, though?
So Ghost, who we hadn't seen for
Ghost got
seasons. Yeah, Ghost got ghosted for seasons. He turns up to fight in the Battle of Winterfell, loses an ear, right? And then his master, who he loves and has protected his whole wolfy little life,
Yep.
F's off. Can I swear?
Can
Have you
swear-
listened to this
have you-
podcast?
Have you listened to me speak
we're
this entire time?
Okay, yeah, true.
Yeah.
So he fucks off.
Thank you.
He fucks
You don't
off.
have to say it so hard.
And,
Pitch,
and- sorry. And he's like, you know what, Ghost, you go north of the wall with Tormund and I'm just going to go with my girlfriend and I'm just going to go beat wars and stuff like that. He doesn't even pet the dog and say, you're the best doggo that there ever was. Sorry, Cade's dog.
That's name's Brax. Thank you very
Brax.
Yeah.
much.
I'm sorry, Brax, but Ghost
He
is
can
the
hear
best
you.
doggo
I
that
hear
there
dog
ever
tears out
was.
there.
and he just gets shafted.
Yeah, okay.
Ghost got shafted and lost an ear.
That's fair. They did meet up at the end, though, and they went north of the wall together. They had a reunion.
Did they
of
wag?
sorts.
Sure.
Did he wag his tail?
He got a pat.
You got a pat.
Well, that's like.
And they kind of looked at each other in the eyes lovingly. But there's a
Then he
CGI
winked.
problem. Well, the whole thing, there's a CGI problem because these direwolves are huge.
It's like
yeah.
a problem they're not supposed to like touch the direwolves because it's too complex, but
Yeah.
they can have
It's-
dragon
oh,
fights. in
I
the middle
can't
of the
figure
air.
out how to pat this dog. It's
Yeah.
too difficult.
Cade, what's your thoughts, mate? What are you thinking?
Look.
Worst season.
I think Jon Snow. Obviously, he got dogged
You got dogged.
by his brother / cousin / dad.
Yeah, it could be.
Who knows these days with Game of Bones. Yeah, it's just shit.
Cool.
To be honest, like let's say you and your mate work together.
Yeah.
You and your brother work
and your
together
brother,
in
yeah.
the family business
Yeah, yeah.
because this is how it's going to relate.
Yeah.
You're next in line. You know, dad's passing the business over to the kids, and it's like, all right, guys, you need to look after the automotive business.
Mm.
And old Wheels over here, he gets it because he knows wheels.
That's
Okay.
got to be the shittest analogy I've ever heard in my life.
I think
it's
if you-
up there.
If you look into
it's
it,
top
though,
5 shittest I've ever heard.
It's deep. And then just get Spanish for nothing.
Look,
Oh,
I get
he
what
gets he murdered,
I
but
get.
Well,
if it
he
wasn't for
got
him-
banished because he.
Look, it's more like
Stab the
this.
queen.
All right, think about it like this. So he, him and his brother work at the family business, right?
Okay.
And the CEO is there, and he murders the CEO, and then his brother gets the business because he murdered the CEO.
Yeah.
That's kind of more like what happened.
Yeah, even though the brother was just
The brother did nothing.
was like the janitor.
he was basically the janitor, and then
There was the guy that washed the cars.
yeah.
yeah. Look,
He did a lackluster job.
I'm going to throw my vote for. Well, it's a tough one. It is a toss up because I really didn't like the fact that Jon Snow got shafted. I was very disappointed. I didn't necessarily think he needed to be king in the end, but I think for him to get shafted back to the wall was a bit rough considering everything he did. He was pretty much the single person responsible for gathering the armies together and beating off the White Walkers.
Beating him off.
Beating him off. So I would say Jon, but I'm going to say Daenerys, actually, because I think it's more a character arc sort of thing for her. I think you can't take one of the more beloved characters and then just flip her on a switch and just go, oh, well, sometimes with a Targaryen, the gods just toss a coin and that's how we're going to explain.
They have to say that line.
That's how we're going to explain how she turns batshit crazy in the turn of an episode. But like I said, I do understand there were points throughout where they were kind of trying to allude to it, but it wasn't enough. She was too good of a character to be done dirty like that. Daenerys had the worst season in my opinion. You say Jon Snow, you say Ghost. I want to know what you guys think out there. Who had the best season? Doesn't have to be one of the ones I picked. It could be someone different. And who had the worst season? Game of Thrones season 8. We will be back with an episode on Thursday, which is also going to be Game of Thrones related. We're not stopping. You thought we were going to stop this madness?
Oh, this Game of Thrones SEO train is choo-chooing all the way through the week, baby.
That's right. So in the meantime, make sure you jump on iTunes and leave us a 5-star review.
Or jump on Patreon, and that's patreon.com/ComicConPod, and support the show from as little as $2 a month.
$2 dues.
Gives you instant access to 50-plus episodes.
Hey, Rachel, you're a nerd. What's Game of Thrones money?
What?
What's Game
Gold
of Thrones?
Dragons.
Gold Dragons.
2 gold dragons.
2 gold dragons, which seems like a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's probably like a quarter of a gold dragon.
Oh, maybe
a
it's
month.
silver dragons.
You don't even know.
Maybe they've got silver and gold. Who knows?
Who knows? If you want to check out past episodes or the other great shows on our network, head to ccradio.com.au.
And finally, make sure you head to our Facebook listener community and join in on the fun with a whole bunch of great members. Just search for the Comic Confidential listener community on Facebook.
That is it. Like I said, we'll be back Thursday with another Game of Thrones themed episode. I'm Troy.
I'm Cade.
I'm Rachel.
And this has been Comic Confidential.
Dragon shows rule.
He's not wrong.